Hello and welcome to Three Dudes and a Lady. Join us for a little inspiration, a little motivation, and perhaps a way to start your day. I'm Mike from Alexandria, Virginia, and my gratitude today is for weekend movie dates.
Good morning, folks. My name is Earl Rule, hailing from the beautiful state of North Carolina. And my gratitude for today is creating visions.
Good morning, everyone. My name's Jay Anderson. I'm from the wild, wonderful state of West Virginia. My gratitude got changed on me. I had one in my mind and then listened to Jay Shetty and realized that uh, my gratitude is learning how to understand.
Love that.
I'll explain that one later.
Okay. All right. Hey guys, I am Christine Wright, hailing out of the great state of Florida. My gratitude for the day is waking up at 5:30 and getting all my stuff done that I needed to. So kind of like what Jay's topic was today, fresh eyes, right? He talked about a guy named Tariq that went viral about corn, right? He says he adores corn. And there was a short interview that ended up going viral. But he had a sense of wonder with corn and is fascinated about it, right? So how can we approach the world with fresh eyes? He gave an example of somebody that he named Carl, right? He thought that the piano looked super fun to play. He thought about all the different ways he could play it, right? But as he started playing, he focused on impressing judges at different concerts. He forgot about the inventive ideas that got him excited about playing, right? We've all had this. But the more he started to play, the less excited he was about it, right? How do we maintain that initial openness as we gain familiarity with something, right? It's called he had a word for it, but it's basically a beginner's mind, right? And it refers to the attitude that only beginners have, right? So when you start something, you're really excited about it, it's fresh, you have all these ideas and you're very creative, right? But we don't know what's possible compared to impossible. So we start saying new or no to new ideas. Yes, or at least maybe is probably what we should be saying, right? It's not merely about the progress, right? You notice more filled with more wonder. You truly engage your brain and your senses. If we have a beginner's mind, right? You're going to unlock new depths of appreciation. But it starts with awareness and acceptance of that, right? We need to stay humble, slow down, and get in touch with our inner child. Let our curiosity be our guide. And I think this happens all the time with everything, right? Like we may have this hobby that we love doing, right? And then it turned into getting paid for that hobby. And then the next thing you know, like we're focused on the paycheck or the mundane activities that we have to do within that, right? Instead of focusing on the wonder, the creativity, things like that. It happens all the time. Like this happened with my husband, Mike. Like he is a painter by trade, like a body guy, like fixes cars and he's remodeled anything and everything, right? Like Model A's that were stuck in a garage for 50 years, right? He had one in our garage remodeling it, right? It took time and he loved doing that work. But as he started progressing more into doing more, because of course, you know, when you start doing body work for people, you start getting referrals and then things like that. Now it's like a chore for him. Like it's not as much fun as he used to have. So I think it happens with anything that turns from a hobby into like a job, right? What are you guys' thoughts?
Let me open this up just real quick because some context needs to be made here. Okay. And uh, the word, Christine, that you said that he used is a Buddhist. Zen Buddhism is the word, but the actual word is Shoshin,
Yep, Shoshin.
Mhm.
Shoshin. I had to look it up. At first, I wasn't sure that I was hearing what he was saying, but then it popped up in, Mr. Google, pretty smart cat. He picked up where I was heading. So, just to elaborate a little bit with what Christine just said, just to put things into context, okay? The Shoshin is a word that means beginning stages. Now, here's the important part. Where this means beginner's mind, it refers to an attitude of openness, eagerness, and here's the kicker, and a lack of preconceptions. And a lack of preconceptions when studying, even in advanced level, just a beginner world. So the title Fresh Eye is the freshness of a new subject that comes up. Now, you've been engaged in that subject like your husband Mike had for many years, and all of a sudden you lose it. So how do you go about it? You got to change some things within it. And he said this at the beginning. It starts with being aware and the acceptance of what you're doing. And it's an interesting concept, one that I don't know that I've ever thought of, but so interesting. I wanted to point that out, and it might help steer us within conversation. Because I did not understand what the hell he was talking about when he first started. I was lost, but now I'm found.
Yeah, and like if we can keep our minds like you think about even in this business, right? In the insurance business, we're all a part of. When we first got our insurance license or we were studying to get our insurance license, we were all excited and motivated, like this is going to be great, right? And then reality sets in and you're like, oh, wait, this is not what I thought it was going to be. Would you
So
guys
in his
agree?
story with the piano player, did he say that practicing he didn't care for the practice? The boy didn't care for that, but the recitals or the concerts or whatever, he got past that to practice more because what he really loved was the concert, actually playing in front of people, I guess. And that's like you said, life insurance. Come on, guys, let's be honest. How many of us have been in a situation where, man, this is mundane. This is so repetitive. This is an over and over and over and over thing. I'm not sure that I dig this over and over and over thing. And it's tough. But this is a resource for us.
Well, I think in any occupation, or if you want to say hobby that turns into an occupation, I think you're going to run into hurdles anywhere you go. I mean, even if you're a business owner, I mean, you could have a piece of your equipment that you need to run your business break down. Do you have a backup plan? Also, one thing we've all learned in this business or any other business is you're not going to be able to please everybody. So sometimes creativity rules as far as the way you present yourself to others. You know, you might, if you have four people, you probably please three out of the four people. Everybody has their own opinion, but at the end of the day, it's how you go about your business and believing in yourself. But that's the thing, because you can't let everyone else's negativity. There's too much negativity in this world for us to excuse me, for us to let that stand in our way of our goals. Because let's face it, when we have goals in life, yes, are we going to run into obstacles, and we have to learn to accept that. But at the end of the day, if you keep staying on that path and fighting through what you believe in, you just don't know what the path is going to bring you. Go ahead, Jay. I know
You're firing on all cylinders here, Earl. You're hitting it right on the head, brother, and I don't think you realize it. And I want to share why you're firing on all cylinders. That's exactly what Shoshin is being
right.
aware
And,
of the fact that this is a continual thing. And the faster that you can become aware of it, the faster that you can continue that happiness of what really got you there in the first place.
Right. And as a person who's a one man army here, you sometimes you get in your own head about things, but you have to look at the real picture and what it is that you want and the fight that you have to go through to get there.
That's
And I think this
that's in every army. That's not only a one-man army, buddy.
well
That's we
that's
all
true.
have that issue.
I'm just saying an example, Jay. I'm
Yeah.
just an example. But here's the thing. Let's take a school teacher for an example. Now, we don't give school teachers enough credit, especially the good ones who've been in the industry for over 30 years. You would think, they get all the credit. Well, now there's some school teachers that are truly blessed. They have the best students and they love what they're doing. And there are others that go through challenges each and every day in students because the students are not behaving or they're just not doing their work. They're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. And trying to direct their mind to doing that is a challenge. So school teachers, in my opinion, don't get enough credit for, especially they're probably underpaid as well. But yeah, so I, I, I say, but school teachers have a passion for helping people and that's a good thing. But the question is, how many obstacles do they have to go through to realize they're on that path?
Absolutely.
Jones.
Yep, Mike.
A couple of thoughts. One, my initial thought was, life and status quo will will beat that beat you to all that creativity just escapes your body and just goes into the atmosphere. They will beat you down, do it our way or highway, right? And how many times have we had bosses that are like that? No, this is the way we've always done it. Um, but think colleges have a goal here, play in this, and it's teach you how to think, basically. So high school just says, what can you read, remember, and regurgitate? Yeah, colleges teach you more open-mindedness. And I had a shift in thought when he was talking about this because I was talking about corn and admire the husk and so forth. And I was thinking, if you had to do that for like 6 hours at a time during the day, you wouldn't think so much about corn. Then I thought about my dad. And there was one time when I was in college in the summer, he and a neighbor had gone down to the cornfield. They drove, they actually drove an old Datsun station wagon through the field and loaded it back up with corn and went back to their house and we shucked it off. But the guy who was helping us, a young guy, he brought out a gallon jug of what they call purple passion, some kind of alcoholic beverage. And I had never drank with my dad before. And so my mind shifted from corn, or to have a good memory about corn.
Absolutely. Whereas I do not. Have you ever had to detassel corn? Like
Yeah,
I grew
I
up,
have.
yeah, that's what we did as kids, detasseled corn. So when he brought up corn about like imagining it, I was like, all I could think of was the smell of corn.
Uh-huh.
Like that was that's everything. The smell just kept coming back. I'm like, it's the
The only thing
smell.
I can think of worse than detasseling corn is topping tobacco, where you go through the field and break the flowers off so that more of the growth can go into the leaf.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure it's very similar.
What do you think, Christine?
Well, I mean, I think if we can keep our eyes as a new beginner, like if no matter what we're doing in life, if we could go back to like the day we started, right? The day you started something new and always keep that in the forefront, right? Because a lot of times as we get better at stuff, expertise comes into play, right? And I think that's why Jay was saying we have to stay humble because a lot of times we let the expertise take over instead of the creativity part of it. And we need to stay creative, right? Because otherwise we have vision blocks and it's a lot harder to vision like what the good is going to come out of this, right? I don't know. I mean, I liked it because it's like it's true, like it is.
Do you think possibly that, let's take athletes as an example. Do you think some of the high level athletes get this feeling that they practice the Shoshin and it allows them to elevate into another level of play? Because let's talk about some things here. Baseball, how many games are in a year?
162.
62.
How could you not get burnout? Basketball, 82 games during the regular season. That's just
Mhm.
during the regular season before playoffs. How, how, how can you not get burnout? But do you think some of these athletes that reach an elite status have the beginner stage mind that keeps them propelled to drive harder and harder and harder over something that's very repetitious to them?
I think they
NFL.
work hard on that. Like I think they work harder on their mindset than the average person.
I
Because I read a
agree.
book that of a trainer that trained Michael Jordan and some other ones, LeBron, so, like a lot of athletes. Like but he's not like the normal trainer. Like he is a mindset trainer first and foremost, and he helps.
Or psychologists, yeah.
Yeah, and he helps athletes that are injured. He helps them rehabilitate and but he also in his book he talks a lot about that he makes sure that it's their mindset, right? It has to be strong, right? It just does.
Yeah, Christine, you brought up an interesting point about athletes because over the course of the weekend down here in North Carolina, the Carolina Panthers were playing a preseason game against the Buffalo Bills, but they were up in upstate New York. I was listening to the game. They have a star player that they're prepping for the regular season. He had an injury, but they interviewed him and asked him, said, how are you feeling? He goes, and even he said it's all a mindset. It's a mindset first because when you're taken out of the action, when you're taken out of the play, your mind is I want to go out there and compete. And when an injury stops you, sometimes your mentality just goes downhill. You have to get it back up to be ready, because a lot of times it's a mental thing, but the coaches do a good job, at least their coaches do a good job at keeping them and saying, you got this, just keep fighting, you got this. And a lot of times when you now football is only 17 games a season as opposed to baseball, which is 162 games. A good coach will rest his players when needed. That's why you have a team, backups to come in and fill. We play as a team, and when a third baseman or shortstop needs a day off because they feel they're making errors or they're just not producing, that just means they need a day off to reset and put somebody else in there and then put him back in there so he's ready. He comes back and he's batting 1,000. I'm not saying it's all perfect like that, but a good coach will find a way to balance his team.
For sure.
Well said. I mean, that's a good point. And Major League Baseball really was one of the first sports that actually rested players during the season.
Yep.
Some of these shorter seasons, the NFL and stuff like that, they
Yep.
don't necessarily do that. But it's just interesting. I go back to what I read when I pulled it up. And this statement right here probably helps me more than anything. And I'll explain when I say this, why I say it. Lack of preconceptions. Guys, just about everything I've gotten into in my life, I had a preconception about. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie. I think it's human nature. I think it's part of DNA that we question whatever it is up front.
It's your
And
brain protecting you from danger.
Yep.
It is human nature.
Mhm.
well said. Thank you. That makes me feel better. Now I don't feel like a dumbass. So,
Well,
danger,
Jay.
danger, Will Robinson. Be careful. Got to be careful. But are we capable of when a preconception enters our mind on something? Are we capable of stopping it and being aware of it up front to where we don't allow the mind games to take place? And I think that's where the phrase fresh eyes tries to come into play here. Are we capable of catching it and maintain freshness, newness of what we're doing?
And Jay, I think what you just said, I think a part of that revolves, and then this is more of a career anything, is creativity. Are we able to maintain that creativity to put that in there? Because if we have that creativity or ability to create that creativity, that kind of takes the pressure off a little bit if we're going through circumstances like that, and that kind of helps us down the path.
Oh, agreed. I agree with that. I, th- I, th- I think this is a tough subject because I think it's actually harder to achieve because we get in our own way.
Yep.
And because of that, I feel like it's a great uh, it's a great warning shot for us to pay attention to. And maybe this can be the resource that I think Jay Shetty is trying, in my eyes, what he's trying to make it to be is, hey, okay, if you don't feel that freshness, stop. And they said the way to go about this is by slowing down and then taking a second maybe to be mindful of something, whatever the something may be. But it's very interesting.
For
I
sure.
don't know. I don't know. Hey guys, I think it's easy to see why we're not licensed therapists. Man, this is a good one. I'm going to go back to my gratitude now because I originally had a different one in mind. And then uh, Jay Shetty just taught me that understanding is good gratitude. I tell you, this was a tough one for me to grasp up front. I needed help. I needed to look and explore just a little deeper because I wasn't sure that I really grasped what he was trying to throw at me. I admit I'm not the smartest cat in the world, but I did need that help. That's what makes this platform fun is just think it's a Monday morning, August the 17th, 2026. And I got to learn something fresh on a Monday morning. How nice is that? Anyways, I hope you guys get to join us on a daily basis. We listen to that Calm with Jay Shetty.
And please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content. And feel free to leave a comment. And I hope to see you soon. Bye.
It's
Peace.